As the story that rocked the nation on Saturday, the investigation continues to unfold, and we are here live in Butler as we continue to investigate and find out how this could possibly happen. You can see the area is still blocked off here in Butler, Pennsylvania, into Saturday's assassination attempt as it intensifies here this morning, and we will have team coverage from here and from Milwaukee, where it is the start of the Republican National Convention. But first, we will start right here from Butler as we continue to investigate how this could possibly happen and the suspect. And joining us now is Jay Gray, live from Butler. Jay, good morning.
Dave, good morning to you. And yeah, you're absolutely right. Multiple federal investigations underway. The area here where the rally took place still locked down at this point. Multiple federal allegations, as we talked about, really centered on this crime scene. The FBI working to learn more about the 20-year-old suspect, described as a loner and outcast. Homeland Security and now an independent investigation trying to determine exactly what may have led to what many have described as a catastrophic breakdown by the former president's Secret Service detail. Former President Trump traveling to Milwaukee for today's opening of the Republican National Convention, just a day after the attempt on his life. Late Sunday, posting the message "Unite America" on social media as President Biden addresses a stunned nation from the Oval Office.
You know, the political record in this country has gotten very heated. It's time to cool it down. We all have a responsibility to do that.
Responsibility at the center of growing questions and frustration over how it could happen. A rooftop less than 150 yards from the rally stage left open and accessible. The alleged shooter, seen in this new video, able to fire at least 8 shots from the position before he's taken out by Secret Service snipers.
The buck does stop with the U.S. Secret Service. It's their plan. You're responsible, so you can't deflect blame on anybody else.
President Biden ordering an independent investigation into what many in law enforcement are calling a colossal breakdown and profound security failure.
If that bullet was 2 inches to the right, it would have penetrated the former president's forehead, and we would have a great American tragedy on our hands.
Federal agents searching for a motive say the man accused of pulling the trigger, 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks, is still a mystery, unknown to law enforcement before the attempted assassination. Cell phone and other electronics belonging to Crooks are being analyzed now at the FBI lab in Quantico. And Dave, they're hopeful, investigators, that the data there will give them a better picture of this suspect and possibly help them understand why he allegedly wanted to kill the former president.
All right, Jay Gray live for us here in Butler. We'll see you later on this morning. Jay, thank you. Now, the man who was killed, the firefighter and fellow girl dad who dove on his family to protect them, the community here rallying around the 50-year-old Corey Competor's family during this difficult time. And so many people have come together to contribute to 2 different GoFundMe accounts created. One created for his daughter, Allison, raised $830,000, far surpassing the $7,000 goal set, and another GoFundMe created to support all the victims, which has been authorized by former President Trump, has already raised more than $3.5 million. Among the top donors listed are Kid Rock and the head of the UFC, Dana White. And Dana White is also scheduled to speak at the Republican National Convention this week. I'm live here in Butler. We'll be with you all morning long, Danita, but for now, let's send it back to you in Cleveland.
All right, Dave, thank you so much. And when it comes to the RNC, the Secret Service says they're not making any changes to a security plan. During a press conference in Milwaukee, they said there are no known threats against the convention or anyone attending the convention. Now, many of us here in Cleveland, we have a unique perspective of the security that will be in place at the RNC, as former President Trump accepted the nomination here in Cleveland just 8 years ago. So we wanted to take a look back at the security plan in place here. Our Lindsey Buckingham joins us live this morning. And Lindsey, that security plan costs tens of millions of dollars.
That's right, Danita, and you may remember seeing that tall fencing around Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse. In fact, it was 3.7 miles of security fencing around Cleveland, part of a master plan to keep Cleveland safe. So let's look back at the numbers. $50 million, that's in dollars, awarded by a federal security grant to our city for the RNC back in 2016. $30 million for personnel and $20 million went toward equipment for Cleveland police. Law enforcement and security officers were tasked with protecting hundreds of thousands of people, including 50,000 who traveled to Cleveland for the event. Additionally, more than 11,000 demonstrators registered for events around Cleveland. Here's how police beefed up their presence. 5,500 officers were assigned to the RNC, including 3,000 federal officers, 2,000 non-federal officers from out of state, and about 500 Cleveland police officers. Cleveland police purchased 2,000 sets of personal protective equipment and 300 bikes for officers who were focusing on crowd control. Now, in total, there were only about 24 protest-related arrests from the RNC. Coming up at 5:30, we'll hear why there is extra security at Senator J.D. Vance's Ohio home. And Danita, we both worked through the RNC in Cleveland. We remember how tight that security was.
Oh, it was really tight, Lindsay. Badges had to be worn everywhere. You saw the security everywhere, so you knew they were very serious about it. All right, thank you, Lindsay.